This is Dr. Andrea Spina with functionalanatomyseminars.com. Today I'm going to go over a bridging sequence that I often prescribe to my patients for advanced spinal rehabilitation as well as conditioning. For each progression or for each position, there is a progressional goal, meaning that I do not allow the patient to go into the next phase of training until they're able to achieve that goal, which is usually a certain number of repetitions and a certain number of sets. Of course, this is for informational purposes only and is to be used at the viewer's discretion. So the first in the sequence is what we call the short bridge, and we're going to have a goal of 3 sets of approximately 40 to 50. For the short bridge, I am maintaining a brace on my abdomen, so I'm keeping a very strong abdomen and lumbar spine as I'm lifting the pelvis up, contracting the spinal erectors as I lift. Progression 2 is a long lever bridge. Now we're having the arms straight and we're lifting the entire pelvis up off the ground. Once again, keeping an abdominal brace in order to protect the lumbar spine. For progression number 3, it's an incline bridge, progressional goal of 3 sets of 30. For this, we're using some risers in order to make the full bridge a little bit less difficult. It's just like doing an incline push-up, for example, where you're kind of using gravity to your advantage to make the movement a little bit easier. Progression number 4, the head bridge, simply means that we're going to start by bridging up onto the head, and then we are going to perform a full bridge maneuver, not going any lower than when the head touches the ground. For any full bridge position, I like to breathe normally in order to get a good expansion and stretch of my anterior line, including my pec major minor, my intercostals, and my hip flexors. The assisted ball bridge, 3 sets of 20 to 25, is the approximate progressional goal. This time we're using a ball underneath our back in order to kind of cut the bridge in half, making it a lot easier on the patient or on the individual that is performing the training or performing the exercise. And finally, we get into what we call the full bridge, progressional goal of 3 sets of 15. This is a very advanced exercise. It takes quite a bit of spinal strength and coordination. It is working the entire posterior line, right from the wrists, arms, into the shoulders, the spinal erectors, gluteus maximus, down the hamstrings, and into the triceps surae group. It's also providing an incredible stretch for the anterior line, as was previously mentioned. For more information, go to functionalanatomyblog.com. This is, of course, part 2 of a 2-part series on the spinal bridge. The final progressions, we call this a revolving bridge. These are some more advanced bridging exercises. Of course, this is working on both strength as well as flexibility of the lumbar spine. Obviously, this isn't suggested that you progress to this particular exercise until you've mastered the sequences that we demonstrated before. From this, you can progress to stand to bridge, where you lean back and go right into a bridge position. You can also go from bridge position to standing. There's a lot of various exercises you can do from this advanced stage. Once again, visit functionalanatomyblog.com where I describe when these exercises are indicated for both spinal rehabilitation as well as for advanced conditioning purposes.